Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Weight Watchers with Carrie. If you have not been here before, I am mainly a weight loss channel. I started way back in 2016, lost 130 pounds, and then I gained a lot of that back, and now I'm back on track again. I am joining Jen, or I'm embracing chaos with Jen and a few other people. It is a pasta collab, so everybody is going to have a fabulous pasta recipe for you, so be sure to check out everybody down below in the description box. At the end of the video, I will go through what I changed up on this, because I always change things up. That's just what I do. This one wasn't too big of a change, and it was a fabulous recipe. Everybody loved it. And so I will share all of the details at the end of the video, so stay tuned until then, but be sure to check out all of the videos down below after you watch mine, and let's get started on the recipe.
Remember when you told me you believe in something and you said.
All right, so the cast of this party is going to be, this is a one-pot chicken fajita pasta. I'll link down below where I found this recipe. So we have 7 ounces of pasta here, and I just used the penne pasta. Now this is the first time I'm making this, so I'm hoping it tastes really good. I will let you know at the end of the video. And we have, they say olive oil, but we're using avocado oil because that's what we have. 1 can of Rotel, it's a 7-ounce can. 1 onion, white onion. A red bell pepper and a yellow bell pepper, which we already have the onion and the pepper sliced up in the fridge, but I just wanted to put that here to show you. Garlic, cilantro, chicken broth, but we're using vegetable broth here. Salt, sour cream. They say to use light. We don't use light, so we're using regular. It'll add a point or two, but it'll be fine. And then cumin, chili powder, garlic powder, and paprika. Chicken breast. And I think that's it. And oh, you can use avocado and green onions, which my green onions are still growing back there. You can use both of those for toppings. So we definitely are going to pick up some more green onion though, because those obviously aren't ready to cut yet. So that is it for what we need here. And let's get started making the dish. What I'm going to do is preheat my cast iron pan and cut up my chicken. While I'm cutting up the chicken, this will heat up really good. If only it were this simple in real life. Got my chicken cut up. We're going to add it to the pan. But first, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of olive oil. And if it gets like it's too dry when you're cooking your chicken, you can add a little bit of the chicken broth or vegetable broth that you're using to finish cooking it up instead of adding more oil. So I have all of the spices in here. I'm just going to put some of this on my chicken. Say to not add this yet, just fry this up and then move it to a pan or a plate, and then you're going to be cooking your vegetables next in here, which I'm going to do that, but first I'm going to season this chicken a little bit. And then I am going to add a fajita seasoning packet at the end here when everything is in here. This chicken is done, we're going to remove it and put it on a plate. And then I do have my yellow peppers cut up here, and I'm also adding poblano peppers because that's how we roll, and then an onion. So I have all of that already cut up. I just have to dice up the red pepper, so let's go do that. Okay, so this is all over here ready to go into the pan once I remove this chicken, and it is getting close to done here. I did not have to add any broth. I want some good stuff at the bottom of this pan for making my vegetables, and I will add a little chicken broth when I make the vegetables because I don't want to add any more oil to this. What happens when I turn on the light? We can see. So as soon as my chicken's done, it's going to hang out with baby shark doo-doo. And I think it's done now. And it's going to be cooking a little bit more too, because it's going to get added back in here once everything else is done. So I think I'm going to take it out. It was cooking for maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to be adding my stuff. My dog is barking at my son because obviously he was here for over an hour and he went outside and came back in. So he's a stranger danger person now, apparently. So I'm going to add all this stuff in, including the red magic peppers that chopped themselves while I was filming. And then it does say to add the remainder of your spices, because you're supposed to do this in 2 parts. So I'm going to add the rest of that. And I'm also going to add a packet of fajita seasoning. I'm going to add a little bit of the broth to help steam this a little bit and get it done. And then I'm going to open up my can of Rotel quick. Taco seasoning, or the fajita seasoning I'm adding, is the Taco Bell. This is the first time I'm trying this one. I usually use like the Kroger brand, but we'll see. This smells pretty similar, so. And I don't know if I'm going to add the whole packet. I am going to add for sure half of it, and then we'll wait and see. Usually I end up adding the whole packet. So we'll probably let this fry up for about 10 minutes. I have the heat on medium, a little bit above medium, 6 on my stove. And I'll keep adding chicken broth, or vegetable broth in my case, as I cook this, because I don't want it to burn. And I don't want to add any more oil. So I'll kind of like steam it a little bit. After about 10 minutes, I'm going to add some garlic, but first, I'm going to make a little room for it so it can fry up a little bit. It says 3 cloves, so we're going to do about that much. About a tablespoon worth. And then we're just going to let this fry up a little bit so it's not super strong. Oh man, it certainly smells good in here, guys. And I think these peppers and onions are done. So after this garlic gets done, our next step is to remove all of this and transfer to the plate with the chicken, which is not enough room, so I'll have to get a different one. And then in the same skillet, add the chicken broth, diced tomatoes, and the pasta. Okay, I'm gonna mix this all up now. It had about a minute to cook. And I'm gonna remove all of this and put it in the bowl. I added the broth, 2 cups of broth. I'm just gonna get all the stuff off the bottom here. And then we're gonna add the noodles, and yes, I made a mess like usual. I'm gonna add all these noodles in here, 7 ounces of noodles. And we're gonna cover this up and leave this simmer until the noodles are soft and they soaked up all of the broth. And I get the Rotel Original with green chilies. We're going to add those in there, and we're going to bring this to a boil, and then we're going to turn it down to medium low, and we're going to cover it and let it simmer for 15 minutes. I got this lid off of Amazon. It's a universal type lid, and once this starts to boil, which it looks like it's starting now, we're going to cover this up. This fits several sizes of pans, which is really nice. Make sure it gets a nice boil first. And then I'm going to turn the stove down to probably 3 on my stove. It's a medium low. And then these 2 things, the chicken and the peppers, will be added once the noodles are done. 15 minutes. I'm going to set my timer. I don't know if you guys ever saw, when people cut up peppers, they chop the bottom off and then chop the top off and just keep the center. Well, the bottom and the top, this is how much you're throwing away every time. So we always chop that up and save it and make it for breakfast, or throw it in our dish with the regular pepper. But I just wanted the slices, so I just chopped this up and we'll make it for breakfast tomorrow. Alright guys, I did change it up a little bit again. I had this cooking with the cover on for 5 minutes. There's 10 minutes left on the timer. But I realized that even in 10 minutes, all of this liquid is not going to boil down enough. And I don't want that much liquid in my casserole. So I'm going to turn it up to medium heat, let this boil out for the next 10 minutes and see where we're at that time. But the noodles are already getting pretty soft. So I think this is going to be the way to go. So you don't have too much liquid in there. I do have half a cup of sour cream ready to go. Supposed to use light. We didn't have it, so we're not going to do that. I also have cilantro ready to go. I think this is going to be perfect, guys, because these noodles are just about done. There's 3 minutes left, now 2 minutes, and the liquid is getting down there quite nicely. It might have to go another 2 or 3 minutes, but I'll let you know. Okay guys, I did add 1 minute, and I did cover it the last 2 minutes, and that was perfect. There's no liquid left in there. So, shut off my alarm there. So now we're going to add the chicken back in. the peppers back in and the sour cream in. I'll scrape that out in a second as soon as I can put my phone down. And I'm going to stir this all up, and then lastly I'm going to add the cilantro, and I'll show you what that all looks like once I get this stirred up really well. I got that really nice and stirred up. It looks so good. And I'm going to go ahead and add the cilantro. They say about 2 tablespoons. We always go for more because that's how we roll with cilantro. So we're going to mix that all up really well. Make sure, I just didn't want the cilantro cooking a whole lot in there, so I just waited till last to put it in. And I do have the oven or the stovetop turned off now. As soon as I came back and saw that the noodles were done, I shut off the stovetop because I didn't want anything burning, and then I added everything. Okay guys, I'm going to dish this out into serving sizes so we know how many servings you get, so I can figure out how many Weight Watchers points this is worth. But first I'm going to taste it and let you guys know what I think. That is really good, you guys. So it's just perfect for how long I cooked it here. And the cilantro gives it a wonderful taste. I did not add any more of the seasoning packet. So about maybe just a little over half is what I added in there, along with all of the other spices that it called for. The only thing I changed up was, of course, how they cooked it at the end. I didn't keep it covered the full 15 minutes, and I did add 1 minute to the time. So it turned out fantastic. I really like this dish, and I will post the link down below on this. All right, we got 6 servings out of this. The boys already took their 2 servings. So this is a 2-cup Pyrex container. So about 1.5 cups fits in here decently. So 1.5 cup serving is plenty for us all the time. That's what we eat. And yeah, 6 servings worth, and that's what it looks like. It's so good. My son likes it and my husband likes it a lot. So we will probably be making this again. Oh, and they say you can add chopped avocado, green onions, and like I said, mine is still making here, so I didn't have any. And then you can add more chopped cilantro if you want to. So those 3 additions I think I will try adding next time, but I just didn't have the avocado for today, or the onion. Okay, so it was definitely a fantastic recipe. We all loved it. And the things that I decided to change up was I did add poblano peppers, because what is a fajita without poblano peppers, right? So we added poblano peppers, and then I did add a fajita seasoning packet mix. Just adding the other spices wasn't enough for us. It just wasn't spicy enough for us. My son actually had 2 servings, and I still have 2 servings left. So it made 6 servings, and the points came out to be 5 points per bowl. So I used the 2-cup Pyrex bowls with the lids on them, and that is always what I package every meal in that we have as a leftover. I put them in there because I know that's exactly 1 serving for us, and it made 6 of those, exactly 6. It couldn't have been any closer. So that was fantastic to have that many leftovers. And we really enjoyed it. It was actually fun to make even. The points on this, I feel, couldn't have been better. I love pasta. I love pasta dishes, and I tend to make them a lot. And this one is only 5 points. It's not bad at all. That is what I have for you tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you try this recipe out because it's really good. If you like fajitas, you will really like this. So that's all I have for you. Be sure to check out all of the channels out down below in the description box. I have everybody's link down below. And we will see you guys next time for another Cook With Me. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.
You're done pretending that fate is patient. Go run away, get it out of your system. Come back when you're older. Go